So hey everybody, welcome back to Bow and Arrow Garage. First things first, today is New Year's Day of 2023. So I want to wish everyone that's watching a Happy New Year. And for me, I'm really excited because I basically got my LS1 and my TKX 5-speed bolted up and ready to go in my C3 Corvette. So in this video, I just want to walk you through the process of all the little odds and ends I had to take care of before I could bolt them together. And man, like I said, I'm excited, so we're going to jump right into the video and we'll get this thing going. So I forgot to record the removal of the old pilot bearing, and I started installing the new one and was about to forget to record it. So anyways, I am getting it installed. According to the instructions, this is the transmission side. So basically the instructions tell you that the transmission side is shown here in the graphic. This is the bearing to be used with the LS engine. It's got the extended flange on it. And it says the extension part is to the transmission side. And it basically says to gently tap bearing fully in the crankshaft until bearing face is flush with the crankshaft face. The one thing I wanted to mention is that it's very critical on the LS engines. There is an oil plug in the back of the crankshaft, so when you're removing the old pilot bearing, make sure to remove it with the mechanical means. Definitely don't use any kind of hydraulic. I've removed pilot bearings with thread before, but you do not want to do that on this engine. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and tap the bearing fully in. Seems like it's pretty straight there. So I'm going to go with that. Okay, I am getting ready to install the clutch and the pressure plates. And so basically what this means is that this engine will not be going back on the engine stand. So try to make sure we have good clean hands here. So got my like flywheel side there. And my clutch alignment tool. Make sure that doesn't fall out. And I clean my pressure plate really good. And so it should be there. All right, so there is a huge debate on the proper torque for these and whether or not you should use Loctite. And basically it comes down to some GM techs chimed in and said that their manuals say to torque these to 22 foot-pounds. But the Haynes manual tells you 52. So I'm assuming it's a typo in the Haynes manual, because there are a lot of people on the forums saying that when they tried to torque these to 52 foot-pounds, that the bolts snapped off. And we definitely don't want to deal with that mess. So I am going to go with Loctite, and I'm going to go with the GM Techs. I did buy new bolts from GM, but that seems a little bit low, to be honest. I think I'm going to go a little bit higher. And I'm going to go with that. Okay guys, I'm going to be installing a hydraulic throwout bearing, and to do so you have to take a measurement to make sure basically your throwout bearing has the proper gap, or they call it a cushion here, between the fingers and the bearing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead, I have the bell housing installed. It's not permanent, it's just kind of tacked on, and I'm going to take this measurement. Shows basically from the fingers of the pressure plate to the bell housing, and then I've got to take a measurement on the actual throwout bearing itself to the transmission case, and we take the difference between those two measurements, and I should have between 1/8 of an inch and 3/8 of an inch. And I'm going to try not to get in the way of the camera, but basically I'm just using this flat edge. Got to get my readers on. And so there I have 3 3/16 of an inch. All right, so I'm going to go inside and we'll take that measurement on the throwout bearing and we'll see what we have there. So anyways, I already have it set up with the 2 shims provided by his Silver Sport transmission. I did the measurement earlier, my gap was way off. So I put the shims in, it worked out perfectly. It even says in the instructions that this is a pretty common issue with LS engines. So basically, you want to set up, make sure everything is seated. And you're going to take your straight edge and you're going to measure from the flange of the transmission. You got to make sure that's completely compressed. and I'm getting exactly 2.9 inches. Don't know if it's going to come out on the camera, but that's all I can do right now. So that's my measurement. So basically, you take, according to their instructions, you take the X dimension that you got minus the Y dimension equals your cushion. So it's 3.1875 minus 2.9, and that gives me 0.2875. So I am 2.2875, and that is using the two spacers they provided. And so basically you have to have between 0.125 and 0.375. So I'm pretty much a little bit higher than right in the middle, but they even stayed in here. They said that it says it doesn't matter if you're at the top or the bottom of the range or even in the middle. So I kind of disagree with that statement, because they basically tell you later on that if you change the flywheel or even the clutch, that you have to remeasure this because it does affect it. So I would say you don't want to be at the bottom of the range, because if your flywheel, if your clutch wears, when your clutch wears, that you might go out of spec. So we're kind of to the top of the middle of the range, so we're good. So we'll move on from there. All right, guys, I got the throwout bearing installed. I got the bell housing temporarily attached to the transmission. I did it temporarily because I don't know why. Silver Sport transmission, they recommend attaching the bell housing to the engine first, and then attaching the transmission to the bell housing. That's a little bit different than I normally do it. And I'm assuming they're doing that because of the fact that they're under the assumption that you have the engine in the car and you're just doing the transmission. And so that's not the case with me. So I'm going to go ahead and get ready, and I'm going to see if I can get this thing to mate up. And then we'll be that much further along. Should be pretty close right there. So you definitely don't want to pull the bell housing down with the bolts, but I am going to go ahead and start them. Okay, everybody, that's going to end it for this video. Once again, I want to say to everyone that's watching, Happy New Year, and thank you once again for watching. If you enjoyed the content, please consider subscribing to the channel, and join us next time when we get the engine and transmission installed in this T3 Corvette. With that being said, you guys have a great night, have a great year, and we'll see you next time.